Okay, so the next problem in the lead code we are solving is insert interval. Okay, so basically here we got a list of intervals. We are checking the example one. Okay, list of intervals, and also we have been given the new interval. Okay, so basically they're telling that this is already in a sorted order, so 1 comma 3 6 comma 9, and if there was one more interval, like let's say the 10 comma 12, right, that would have come in the end. Okay, so it is already sorted based on the start index. Okay, start range. Okay, this is start, this is end. Okay, this is start, this is end, and this is already sorted based on the start value. Okay, so now these are the intervals, and this is the new interval. Okay, so basically what is being asked here is we need to insert this new interval to here. Okay, simple, right? So basically 2 comma 5, 2 comma 5 is here, so we'll be, obviously if we check it here, right, 2 will be between the 1 comma 6, we'll be inserting it here. Okay, so one more catch here is uh, we are not only inserting it. Once we insert it, we need to check for overlap and we need to merge it. Okay, so now what is overlap thing, right? If you have already solved this problem, right, merge intervals, it is straightforward, or it is clear already, right? So we can start writing the code, right? Like, I mean, we can just check for over check for I mean, first we'll in this problem we'll see, like, we have to insert. Once we insert it, and we will merge it. Okay, so that we can do. So now, for to make this clear, right, we need to understand how this merge interval works, right? This is the same logic that is being used here. Okay, so let's see that how we are, okay, how we can merge the intervals, and then we can come back to this. Okay, if we are already clear, we can skip this portion, but let me quickly explain you that how the merging works, and how the merging can be performed easily. Okay, first thing is, we need to understand what is overlapping, right? So for that part, let's say that we'll take an scale. Okay, 1 to 10 or something, there is some range. Okay, 1 to 10. So now we are writing the ranges. Let's say that we have a range from 1 to 3. Okay, 1 to 3 we have one range, and let's say next one range is 2 to 5, 2 to 5. Okay, there is one more range, and also there is one more range from, let's say that 8 to 10. Okay, 8 to 10, and here, from here, right, you can clearly see that there is no overlapping here, right? Like, I mean, we can clearly see there is a gap here, correct? But here, if you see, right, there is a clear overlapping here, right? So whenever there is an overlapping, we need to merge these two ranges into one. Okay, so merging in the sense, like, I mean, you will pick the starting, and, I mean, whichever the ending node is there, right, you'll have to put it there like that. Okay, 1 comma, so one range will become, now after merging, it will become 1 comma 5, and another range, it will still remain as it is, 8 comma 11. Okay, this is about checking the overlapping and merging it. Okay, so now how do we do it, right? How do we do it? So basically what we need to check here, first thing is we check the overlapping. Okay, how did we check actually? So whatever the new range, right, we know that it's already sorted. Okay, that is straightforward. But even after sorting, let's say that the next index, like, I mean, in the list of intervals, right, the first interval and the previous one, right, if you check, if we will have to compare these two. Okay, so the new interval that is coming up, right, if it is having the lesser value than the previous one, it means that it is ending, it is starting just before ending this one, correct? So if you visualize it, right, it will look like this. So in this condition, we know that it is overlapping. Okay, so now we are sure that it's overlapping. Once we identify the overlapping, we need to merge it. There are only two steps here. Okay, okay, there is a overlapping, so now we need to merge it. Okay, so we can simply take a 5 here, right? Like, I mean, we know that starting index is 1, correct? Like, I mean, as it is sorted already, we know starting, we can fix it as 1, but we don't know what is this after merging. Okay, so in this condition, you can simply say 5, because the second region, we can pick it from the second range, right? This won't be always right. So for example, let's say 1 comma, let's say 4. Okay, I will take 4, and there is one more range that is running between 2 comma 3. So in this case, what will happen, if you check this, right, 4 is greater than 2, so it means that there is an overlapping. Okay, so we need to merge it. So in this case, previously we can just pick the 5, but here it has ended very soon, right? In this time, we'll have to pick the 4 this time, because that is going behind, right? So simply what we can do is we can take a maximum of these two. Okay, we can simply take a maximum of this two, that will give us the end range. In this case, it will be 4. In this case, it will be 4. In this case, it would have been 5. Okay, so this is the logic about merging it. Okay, so basically there are two steps whenever you want to merge it. So one is, if you will have to check for overlapping. Once the overlapping is identified, you will have to merge it using by taking the maximum of the end range. Okay, so this is about the previous problem, and also we are going to use the same logic here as well. Okay, and here they are already sorted order. So what we are going to do here is, either you can do it in place actually, or else they have clearly mentioned it, like, I mean, you can use a new list, you can generate a new interval also. Okay, so we are going to go with up to approach. Okay, and yeah, before actually jumping onto this, let's check the code for only for merging it. Okay, so that it will be easy to understand going forward. So what are we going to do here is, first thing is we'll have to sort it. Here they have not sorted it, so whatever the calculation we are assuming, it works based on the sorting, correct? So we have assumed the starting index because it's already sorted, right? I can simply assume this will be the start, right? So those things, and also, like, I mean, all the comparisons that we do, right, that will be relying on, that will work only if it is a sorted order. So that's why we are going to sort it first. Okay, so once it is sorted, we are going to build a new list where we are merging the intervals. Okay, so whatever the this is the given intervals, right? So we'll merge it into one. This will be the output, we'll be returning it at the end. Okay, so initially what we are going to do here is, margin intervals will be empty. Okay, so for the first time what we are going to do, like, I mean, if the margin intervals is empty, right, there is nothing to compare, so we'll simply add it. Okay, if not margin intervals, we'll simply add it. Okay, so from the next time what we are going to do is, we are going to use the same whatever the things that we done so far, like like, I mean, learned so far, right? So, like, first we'll check the overlapping, and second we'll update the, if it is the overlapping, we'll update it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, we'll check the overlapping here. Okay, if it is not overlapping, we can simply add whatever the new interval that is coming, right? We can add it to the merged list. Okay, if it is overlapping, we need to check the maximum of the last ending, right? We'll be taking the maximum here, and we'll be updating the already merged ones. Okay, whatever the merged already merging, right? So basically it is like, we already have a merged list. Okay, 1 comma 3 is there, 1 comma 3 is already in the merged list. Okay, so now we need to add 2 comma 5 to it. Okay, we need to add 2 comma 5. So we will do the calculation among these two, 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 5. If it is merging, we will be doing like, we can clearly say, right, 3 and 2, it is merging, correct? Like, I mean, if this is the same example that we took, so in this case what will happen, okay, it's a merging. So what we are going to do here is, we know what is the start index, because that is the least that we can do. And the next thing what we can do is take a maximum of these two, it will be the 1 comma 5. Okay, now merge list looks like this. So now next time we'll be coming to the 6 comma 9, after we have inserted a 2 comma 5 in between, right? Next comes the 6 comma 9. So we will do the same calculation here. So we'll check if it is an overlapping or not. How do we check? We'll compare this number and this number. Here 6 is greater than 5, right? It's not an overlapping, right? It will be separate two things. So whatever in that case, what we are going to do, 1 comma 5, and simply we can say add it, no calculation, nothing. We identified that there is no overlapping, we can simply return it like this. So that will be the answer for us here, right? I'll just repeat. So first margin interval will be empty, and as it is empty, we can simply whatever that is there, right? We don't have anything to compare. We will simply add it here. So that should look like this one, 1 comma 5, and then we'll whatever the new thing that we are going to compare, right? We'll be checking if it is an overlapping or not, and if it is an overlapping, we'll be performing some calculations and we'll be adding it. Okay, and whenever, let's say that whenever we are merging, we are going to update what is already being present at the end, because that's why, I mean, it's overlapping with the last element of the merge interval, right? Yeah, so now let's quickly check the code again. Now it is clear, I believe. So we have sorted it, and if there is nothing in the merge interval, we'll simply add it. And next foremost thing is, let's say that we'll check for an overlap. This will condition if it will return like, I mean, it will true, like if it is if it is not overlapping, right? This is a condition to check if it is an overlapping or not. So basically, if there is no overlap, we'll be adding it directly, else we'll be taking this calculation. Okay, now quickly see. Now this, if this is clear, right, I think we are almost done here. So we'll just arrange the code. Okay, so basically here also we are doing the same thing. Okay, so basically what we are doing, the same exact thing that that we use there. so only thing is, we are not sure what interval to use. Here we already knew, right? It is a list of intervals. We used it directly, but here we need to insert it also, right? So we have this custom logic written here to identify what interval to be picked. Okay, so basically what's happening here is, actually you can simplify this code a bit. So yeah, it's up to you. Okay, I've just written it this way. So basically in this part, what we are trying to do here is, we are going to iterate through each of these intervals. Okay, each of these intervals, but if there is any new interval, like, I mean, if you are supposed to insert this interval, we'll be picking that. Okay, so it is like either to pick it from here or pick it from here. Okay, so that is this logic about. So once we are sure about that interval, we will check it with the merged intervals if it is overlapping or not. If it is overlapping, we'll do this. Where it's not overlapping, we'll be doing this. At the end, we'll be finally returning the merge intervals. Okay, that's it actually. Thanks.